I do. I'm just, I'm connecting us to the live stream.
All right, we better read.
So I'm trying to pay attention.
Maureen always pays attention.
I do. I'm just, I'm connecting us to the live stream. Mute. that.
Little delay.
Yeah. Share.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yep, we got you.
Cool, thank you.
Hey, doing, Eric?
Good evening. Sorry, I missed the marathon last month.
Sure you are.
Exactly. And you don't know how happy I was this weekend when I picked up
Yeah,
tonight's
you're
batch.
welcome, by the way.
I got lucky, got a lucky meeting to be absent from.
Yeah, that's why you said you would attend.
Yeah.
We missed you terribly.
I'm sure.
I'm sincere.
Eric, it's hard to move on without you, buddy.
Ugh.
And Brian, you're here.
I am. My work project for this evening got canceled, so I figured I'd join you guys.
Awesome.
Hopefully, relatively shorter meeting.
Yes.
Should be.
Hey, Kim.
Hi, good evening.
Hey,
Hey, Kim.
Kim.
So Brian Hubert's going to be joining us, right?
Yes, as far as I was told. Yep. The only person we will be missing is Mark Forst.
Okay.
Hi, Mark. He's muted.
I'm muted. How are you? Sorry,
Good.
Evening.
Mr.
Hey,
Tanis,
Mark.
growing the winter scruff. Hey,
I forgot to shave.
cold over there that side of town, isn't it?
It is.
I literally
That
shaved
wind.
like 15 minutes ago. First time in a week.
Well, thank you for shaving.
Zoning board.
Oh, don't make Brian
I just put on
feel
a
bad.
jacket. I'm not fancy.
Brian, I
like,
think it
oh.
looks good, man, to be honest with you.
I just figured I had to throw the jacket on to balance it out, but
Hey,
You
you look
look
great.
distinguished.
Got to play the dad.
Enjoy it
gotta
while
play
it's not gray.
the mature dad role now.
it's starting to get gray. I've noticed the first couple now that I have a son, so
Oh,
What do you
time
have?
to,
Two or
shave,
three?
time to shave then.
Wait till the second one comes.
yeah, it's true. I figure without it, I look like I'm like 15 years old, so
So you're doing the just for men to put gray into your hair. We have to do it to try to get the gray out of our hair. And then we just lose our hair, so it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
Is everybody here?
I think so.
Carl, Ed, Eric, Mark, Brian, Ian, Kimberly. Gang's all here.
Okay, let's get started. The October 15th, 2020 work session of the Wyckoff Board of Adjustment is now in session. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting appears on our annual schedule of meetings. A copy of said annual schedule has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall. A copy has been filed with the Township Clerk, the Record, the Ridgewood News, and the North Jersey Herald and News. All newspapers with general circulation throughout the Township of Wyckoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda thereof was similarly posted, filed, and mailed to said newspapers. Members of the public are welcome to be present at this meeting. However, in accordance with Section 7A of the Open Public Meetings Act, participation on the part of the public at this meeting will not be entertained. Maureen, I think I have one section that I do not have.
The COVID,
The COVID.
I did email them to you yesterday or the day before. I have it. If
Take that back. I have it.
you have it, okay.
I have it. We're good.
Awesome.
Okay, this is Township of Wykoff Open Public Meetings Act. Please take notice that in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, and in consideration of Executive Order Number 103, issued by Governor Murphy on March 9th, 2020, declaring a state of emergency in the state of New Jersey, the zoning board of the Township of Wykoff does hereby notify the public that to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens, the meeting of the zoning board of the Township of Wykoff scheduled for Thursday, October 15th, 2020, will be conducted virtually through Zoom technology, and it will be live streamed on the Township of Wykoff's YouTube channel. The work session is scheduled for 7:30 and the public business meeting will begin at 8 p.m. These measures are implemented to allow members of the public to observe the meeting via live streaming and to provide the ability to comment during the periods for public comment during the meeting through Zoom telephone call-in technology. Joining the meeting by telephone will be utilized as security against the sharing of inappropriate video content. General instructions regarding access to the meeting is posted on the Wykoff website homepage at www.wykoff-nj.com as a news item. All applicants are hereby reminded that your application, if approved, may be subject to the terms, conditions, and payment of the Affordable Housing Development Fee requirements of the township. Information can be obtained from the Code of the Township of Wykoff, Chapter 113-8 on the township's website, www.wykoff-nj.com. This meeting is a judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision, and decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. Ms. Mitchell, roll call, please.
Ms. Evans,
Here.
Mr. Christ,
Here.
Mr. Tanis,
Here.
Mr. Kalpagian,
Here.
Mr. Hubert,
Present.
Ms. Riato,
Here.
Mr. Rubenacker,
Here.
Mr. Borst, Chairman Fry.
Here. All right, thank you. Good evening, board. I hope you and your families are all doing well. Nice to see everyone, even though it's still not in person, but we'll get there eventually. I just want to go over the agenda real quick. So we have old business. We'll go through the public and work session minutes. Resolution 20-10, resolutions to be memorialized. It was a marathon last meeting. We were fortunate. We were able to get through 6 applications. So we cleaned the agenda. So I think we have just 2 this evening. So we have a request for an extension of approval. There was a letter that was in the packet. We'll discuss that. And then we have 2 applications that are new applications. The Christian application, Christian Jakura and Kristen Bone. Bone, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. You can correct me when we get to the public session. 74 Yale Ave, Block 469, Lot 4. And then Michael and Lindsay Mitchell, 71 Harding Road, Block 263, Lot 55. So we have 2 applications that we'll be hearing tonight. And then we'll just discuss the request for an extension of approval. That's for an application that was previously before us and approved back in November of 2019. So let's roll into old business. We have the approval of the September 17th, 2020 work session and public minutes, meeting minutes. I read through the minutes. I didn't see anything that popped out at me as an error or something that should be changed or modified. By all means, if anyone on the board noticed any issues, any errors, or anything that should be omitted, please speak now. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the work session and public session minutes from the September 17th, 2020 board meeting.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Hubert, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kalpagian. Ms. Mitchell?
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Christ,
Yes.
Mr. Tanis,
Yes.
Mr. Kalpagian,
Yes.
Mr. Hubert,
Yes.
Ms. Riado,
Yes.
Chairman Fry.
Yes. Okay, resolutions for payment 20-10. I'll go through them quickly. So this is a township engineer review. The Andrukowitz application, 383 Lehigh Street, $137. Lieberman application, 396 Carriage Lane, $137. And Zano application, 105 Sheldon Street, $685. Ellie Homes LLC, 349 Voorhees Ave, $513.75. And the Kenzani application, 177 Van Houten Ave, $616.50. Can I get a motion to approve resolution number 20-?
Carl?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I sent a revised payment resolution with the attorney professional charges for the resolutions. I believe I have it here. I did send an email.
I have it. We
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
it.
it's
I have
possible I missed it.
Yep.
All right, hold on, let me,
Are you able to post it?
yeah, give me 1 sec. Where is it? Here it is.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yep, okay. Just maybe scroll down just a little bit. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, board professional resolutions, the Andrukowitz application, 383 Lehigh Street, $400. Lieberman application, 396 Carriage Lane, $400. And Zeno application, 105 Sheldon Street, $400. Ellie Homes LLC, 349 Voorhees Ave, $400. Elaine application, 388 Cornell Street, $400. And the Scalise application, 541 Helena Ave, $400. Okay. I think that's it. All right, can I get a motion to approve, or are there any questions on resolution 20-10? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Who was that? I have somebody
Mr.
blocked.
Rubenacker.
Thank you, Mr. Rubenacker. Second,
Second.
Rosa, thank you.
thank you.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Christ,
Yes.
Mr. Tanis,
Yes.
Mr. Kalpagian,
Yes.
Mr. Hubert,
Yes.
Ms. Riado,
Yes.
Mr. Rubenacker,
Yes.
Chairman Fry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have 6 resolutions to be memorialized. So there were a couple of things that came out of the last meeting. 2 of the applicants had to provide modified landscape plans based on discussion. So the 2 that I have are the Andrukowitz application and the Ellie Homes application. That's what I noted in the resolutions. Does that sound correct, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes,
Okay, so the Ellie Homes had sent the revised plan. Mr. Borst reviewed it the end of September. They got it to us right after the last meeting, and it was deemed to be acceptable. The Andrukowitz application, that plan did not get to us until I believe maybe a day ago. And it was sent out to Mr. Borst. He did review it. He had a couple of comments, and he thought he was going to have a hard time accepting it. And then he read further into it. And just to clarify, what we had discussed is we wanted screening to the left side of the front door and then also around the proposed porch. First blush, I looked at the landscape plan and it looked like they had only identified 4 plants to the left of the front door, and all it said was 4-inch annuals. So we had a little bit of reservation with approving this. However, we looked closer at it, and then Mark Force brought it to my attention. He said, no, it actually looks like, and actually Ms. Mitchell is the one that really pointed out the quantities. So the quantities of the gem boxwoods, which are identified as 24 to 30 inch, the quantity is total 13. And if you look at the drawing, there are 4 to the left and then 9 over to the right. So they are intended to do 4 to the left, 9 to the right, And then in addition, I guess they're going to sprinkle in some 4-inch annuals. So I did review with Mr. Boris. Mr. Boris said he did not have any problems with it. So there was a little bit of discussion beforehand as to whether or not this was going to be able to be approved tonight. But based on the landscape plan that we have and looking at it in a little more detail, we don't see an issue moving forward with the approval. Anybody have any questions on that? Fantastic. Okay, that being said, we can put all 6 of the resolutions together. I went through each of them, seems to reflect accurately what we had discussed, the conversations and the requirements that took place. I will ask one thing, Mr. DeGenero, I don't know if you had a chance to go through, were there any stipulations that you had specified that had to be put into the resolutions?
No, I don't recall there were.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, that being said, I will entertain a motion to approve the 6 resolutions. I'll read them just for clarification. It's the Ellie Holmes application, 349 Voorhees Ave. Anzeno application, 105 Sheldon Street. Scalise application, 541 Helena Ave. Lieberman application, 396 Carriage Lane. And Drukowitz application, 383 Lehigh Street. And the Elaine application, 388 Cornell Street. Anyone care to make a motion to approve the resolutions?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Kalpagian. Second?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Mitchell?
Mr. Christ,
Yes.
Miss Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Tanis,
Yes.
Mr. Kalpagian,
Yes.
Mr. Hubert,
Yes.
Ms. Riado,
Yes.
Mr. Eric, you were
I'm gonna
missing.
abstain.
Correct. Yep.
Chairman Fry,
Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, so we have a letter. This is from Timothy Leach, 416 Vassar Street. The applicant is requesting a 1-year extension of the approval granted by the zoning board on November 21st, 2019. So I'll just read, just so it's in the minutes. This is the letter that we received from the applicant explaining why they're seeking the 1-year extension, which is not common. We have had it before, but you'll understand after I read. So, dear board members, my name is Timothy Leach, and I applied for a zoning variance for my home located at 416 Vassar Street, Wyckoff, New Jersey, on November 21st, 2019, at the Wyckoff Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting. It should be noted that said variance was approved by board members during this meeting. Upon being approved for variance, the renovation at our home was supposed to begin in the early spring of 2020. As a result of COVID-19, my family and I decided to postpone the construction of our home based on the following reasons. I was informed by the Wyckoff Building Department that building inspectors would not enter a residence for inspections if you are living in your home during the renovation. It should be noted that my family and I will be residing in our home during the renovation. My children are currently attending school virtually and will not be able to focus on their studies during the renovation process. Based on that fact, the fact that my family will be residing in our home during the construction, I feel that it would not be safe with numerous individuals entering our home on a daily basis. I was informed that there will be times that the governor can stop all non-essential construction during COVID-19. Based on the above listed items, I am asking for permission for a 1-year extension for our variance. If you have any questions regarding this request, please contact me. And he provided his number. So we're kind of expecting some of these things based on the effects of COVID-19. A lot of things are upside down, and I personally don't see any issue why we wouldn't be a little lenient with people as they try to get their lives in order, maybe get their kids back. I still have I have 2 that are studying from home, 1 that's back in school. So I understand the effects. Anybody have any comments pertaining to the Leach request?
I have no issue with this.
Fine with it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
No issues under the circumstances.
Okay, so maybe Ms. Mitchell will do a formal vote just so we can all say yes or no, whichever the case may be. So I'll entertain a motion to accept the request for a 1-year variance extension for the Leach application, 416 Vassar Street, block 486, lot 5.01.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, by Mr. Rubenacker.
Thank you, Mr. Rubenacker. Second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Mr. Hubert.
Mr. Hubert, thank you. Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Christ,
Yes.
Mr. Tanis,
Yes.
Mr. Kalpagian,
Yes.
Mr. Hubert,
Yes.
Ms. Riado,
Yes.
Mr. Rubenacker,
Yes.
Chairman Fry.
Yes. Okay, great,
Mr.
thank you.
Chairman, just so you know, in the board, in the past, we have handled this where I've sent a letter out to the applicant informing them that you have grant the 1-year extension. If they need any more time, they have to let us know, like they did here, prior to the expiration of that 1 year. And I usually put in the reasons, obviously COVID-19. So if that's how you would like me to handle it, I'll do that. I've done that in the past with other extensions.
Yes, please take that direction. Thank you. Okay. All right, so again, we have 2 applicants before us tonight. We can get into those. We'll start with the Bone application 74 Yale Ave, block 469, lot 4. Mr. DeGenero, if you would give us an overview of the application.
Yes, sir. So 74 Yale Ave is block 469, lot 4. It is a single-family dwelling located on a corner lot, currently non-conforming due to lot area, depth, front yard setback, side yard setback, and accessory structure side yard setback. The applicant's proposing to construct a front portico over the existing stoop, requiring variance relief for front yard setback. The existing lot size is 6,600 square feet, where a minimum of 15,000 is required in the zone. The depth of the lot is 110, where a minimum required in the zone is 125. The existing front yard setback number 1 along Andover is 29 feet. Proposed is unchanged at 29 feet. Existing number 2 at Yale is 22.1 feet. Proposed 16.7 feet to the first step. Required is 40. Side yard setbacks are existing at 13.8 feet, where 15 feet is required. The accessory structure is the shed. It is 0.54 feet off the side yard and 7.7 feet off the rear yard. And 6 feet is required for that shed. Lot coverage existing is at 14.53% on the principal building, proposed at 14.98. Max permitted 15. Accessory structure existing remains unchanged at 1.03. Proposed combined goes to 16.01, which is less than the max allowable of 20. Stormwater management plan is not required, and the property is served by sanitary sewer.
Okay, thank you. So this is a portico, which we are seeing a lot of these days, actually. It's typically for a purpose of providing shelter over the front door. We do have a lot of homes that don't have protection over the front door, and sometimes ice and snow accumulate on the front steps, so it becomes an issue. So there were some pictures included. It looks like they've maybe modified recently the front steps, and they're looking to put a covered, we'll call it a portico, right over the front. It looks like it's about 3 foot 5.5 to the center of the posts. So I wouldn't say it's a very large structure. They're not covering all the stairs. It looks like they're looking to cover just the top landing. However, since that's going to be covered, then the front yard in that direction applies to the lowest step of that structure. So even though the addition bumping out, which is just that roof line with columns, is only 3.5 feet maybe, the measurement is to the front step. So I think this one's pretty cut and dry. If anybody has any questions, by all means, please bring it up. We can ask some questions. It looks like they did the steps and maybe they decided, hey, here we are. It'd be nice to have a covered little portico on top of it, and maybe that's why they're before us. I did drive by the house. Nice little area. That whole area it's nice. We've had a bunch of applicants that have come before us in that area, and a lot of the pre-existing conditions are a major struggle. Look right off the bat at 6,600 square feet is the entire lot, where 15,000 is required. So they're extremely undersized in that area. So that always creates a hardship. This really doesn't apply to that. It's really not having too much of an impact on it. It's really more the setbacks than anything. Any questions, or can we move on?
Fairly straightforward. No
All right.
question.
Okay, the second application is the Mitchell application, 71 Harding Road, block 263, lot 55. Again, Mr. DeGenero, if you'd give us an overview.
71 Harding Road is an existing single-family home in the R15 zone, currently non-conforming due to deficiencies in lot size, frontage, side yard setback, and accessory structure setback. The applicant's proposing a second-story addition with a new covered front porch requiring variance relief. The existing lot size is 11,745 square feet in the zone of 50, where a minimum of 15,000 is required. The frontage is 81 feet, where 100 feet is a minimum required in the zone. The depth is conforming, exceeds 125. Front yard setback existing is at 40.34 feet and is conforming. The proposal for the front porch is 35.75 feet to the first step. Side yard setback number 1 is existing at 11 feet, remains unchanged at 11 feet. Side yard setback number 2 is existing at 6.22 feet, also remains unchanged at 6.22 feet. Minimum is 15 foot in the zone. The accessory structures are existing shed at 96 square feet. The rear is at 6.36 feet, and the side is at 3.36 feet, where a minimum of 10 feet is required in both dimensions. Existing deck is at is a 424 square foot deck. It's conforming in regards to respects to rear and side yard setback. Existing principal building is at 12.9%. The proposed principal building goes to 13.3%, where a maximum of 15% is permitted. Accessory structures remain unchanged at 4.4%, bringing the combined proposed total at 17.7%, where a max of 20% is required or permitted. The application does not qualify for stormwater management plan review, and the site is served by sanitary sewer.
Okay, thank you. So this is an existing structure, dormer on the second floor, a couple of dog houses, it looks like, on the street side. The bulk of the addition is second floor off the back of the house. That's what's being dormered. And then a modification to the front to include again, another covered porch and walkway. So the real change in the application is for the front yard setback, which is being reduced because of the front overhang and then counting to the front of the steps. This, again, another relatively tight area. There are a lot of pre-existing nonconformities as you see the application. One comment I will make is it's nice to see they did not exceed the gross building area, which just further compounds the application. So gross building area proposed is 2518, where you're allowed to go up to 2,700 square feet. So that certainly helps the application. Hopefully they took some thought into that. And this is a rather simple addition that they're doing. So it probably made sense to do it just this way rather than adding off the back of the house or in any other direction. I had one comment. I was going through the numbers on the Schedule J in the application. Maybe I just wasn't looking at it right. So the lot coverage, principal building, present layout is 12.9. Proposed is 13 12.3. So item number 5 on the Schedule J shows 12.9 for the present layout, proposed 12.9.
You should have gotten a revised section J.
Did I miss a bunch of email this month or what?
I don't know if it was emailed. Those are the corrections that I made on the first go around.
Yeah, I'm looking at the accessory of 0.8% and a total of 13.7, Mark.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not the correct section J.
The revised section J should have been with the application. But
Isn't that
it's
what I
not.
just read off?
Any other board members? Do you have the one that says 12.9, 0.8, and 13.7?
That's what I
That's
have.
right.
That's what I have.
So
Should
this
be
is revised.
should be 13.3 and 17.7.
14.3.
13.3. So what's on your write-up is correct?
Yes,
Not that I would ever doubt what's on your write-up is incorrect.
sure, I'm sure.
And Mark, what's
That's
the,
why I give you the report, so you don't have to read the application.
Mark, what's the
I
total again
can't
you're
help
saying?
it.
Mark, what's the total?
17.7,
Okay, which is still under the 20%.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
Give me a pen.
So the accessory proposed is 4.4.
Existing and proposed, correct.
Okay,
You're probably looking at a 0.8% on accessory. So that was the original submission with a revision that I called out on my review. So it should be 12.9 existing, 4.4 existing, 17.3 existing. Proposed goes to 13.3, 4.4, 17.7.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
got it. Okay. Okay. Also, as part of the application, they did provide in the site plan, they have a landscape plan as well. So board, any comments or questions?
No, again, fairly straightforward.
Agreed. Anyone else? Okay. Okay, so we had some corrections to the Schedule J. We'll make sure that that's just documented and memorialized, but I don't think I have any other questions on this application either, so. That being said, unless somebody has anything else that they want to bring up in the work session, we can entertain a motion to close the work session.
Yeah, so moved.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. We want to roll right into the public?
Yep,
Okay,
Let's go.
move it along.
excellent. Okay, sit tight while I do some more reading, take a nap, whatever, I'll wake you up. The public meeting, opening statement, the October 15th, 2020 public meeting of the Wyckoff Board of Adjustment is now in session. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting appears on our annual schedule of meetings. A copy of said annual schedule has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall. A copy has been filed with the township clerk, the Record, the Ridgewood News, and the North Jersey Herald and News. All newspapers with general circulation throughout the township of Wyckoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda thereof was similarly posted, filed, and mailed to said newspapers. Township of Wyckoff Open Public Meetings Act. Please take notice that in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, and in consideration of Executive Order Number 103 issued by Governor Murphy on March 9th, 2020, declaring a state of emergency in the state of New Jersey, the zoning board of the Township of Wykoff does hereby notify the public that to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens, the meeting of the zoning board of the Township of Wykoff scheduled for Thursday, October 15th, 2020 will be conducted virtually through Zoom technology, and it will be live streamed on the Township of Wykoff's YouTube channel. The work session is scheduled for 7:30 and the public business meeting will begin at 8 p.m. These measures are implemented to allow members of the public to observe the meeting via live streaming and to provide the ability to comment during the periods for public comment during the meeting through Zoom telephone call in technology. Joining the meeting by telephone will be utilized as security against the sharing of inappropriate video content. General instructions regarding access to the meeting is posted on the Wykoff website homepage at www.wykoff-nj.com as a news item. All applicants are hereby reminded that your application, if approved, may be subject to the terms, conditions, and payment of the affordable housing development fee requirements of the township. Information can be obtained from the code of the Township of Wykoff, Chapter 113-8, on the township's website, www.wykoff-nj.com. This meeting is a judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision, and decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. Ms. Mitchell, roll call, please.
Ms. Evans,
Here.
Mr. Christ,
Here.
Mr. Tanis,
Here.
Mr. Kalpagian,
Here.
Mr. Hubert,
Here.
Ms. Riato,
Here.
Mr. Rubenacker,
Here, sorry.
Chairman Fry.
Here. All right, good evening, everyone. Okay, so we went through the full business resolutions for payments. Resolution 20-10, resolutions to be memorialized, and the request for extension of approval all in the work session. So that being said, we have two applications that we're going to hear tonight. The Bone application, 74 Yale Ave, Block 469, Lot 4, and the Mitchell application, 71 Harding Road, Block 263, Lot 55. Before we get started, if we would, why don't we do a Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Rubenacker, if you would lead us. Ms. Mitchell, do you have a flag that you can pop up on the screen?
I sure do.
Fantastic. Look at you. Okay, Mr. Rubenacker, ready when you are.
Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of
Flag
the United States
of the
of
United States
America
of America,
and to the republic
which it stands,
one nation under God,
under God, indivisible,
and
with
justice for all.
liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Carl,
Yes.
I see that Tim Leach just joined the meeting. You might want to just let him know that his letter of extension was approved, so he doesn't have to really hang into the meeting.
That's a good idea. I see that as well. I see he's muted. That's fine. Mr. Leach, we did review your letter for the one-year extension. It has been granted based on the circumstances that you provided to the board. So a notice will be sent out to you. Our board attorney will be memorializing that and sending notification out to you. But it has been approved, just so you're aware of it. Acknowledged by taking. Oh, perfect. There you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got stuck up at work. I'm so sorry.
No, no
I
problem.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Best of luck with everything. And then again, you've got the 1 year, so hopefully you can get everything done and everything gets back to normal.
All right. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Good luck.
Be
Have
well.
a good night.
Night, Tim.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let's roll right into the two new applications. We'll start with the Bone application or bond application. I could get yelled at as soon as they take
Mhm.
mute. 74 Yale Ave, Block 469, Lot 4.
Kirsten, are you there? She's, you,
Is
you
Osterkorn?
don't need to speak. She's signed in as an attendee, not as a panelist.
Oh,
Kirsten, can you call in? The instructions were in the invite. Do you have the email?
are you able to chat with an attendee?
I am. Apparently, she can hear me. Hang on, let me try to chat.
She's saying she didn't get an email.
Typing on a chat right now. She says, I can hear everyone.
Yeah.
She's gonna call in.
I'm going to try to chat with her.
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
she's in.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Oh, wonderful. I'm sorry. I received one email and it seemed to be perhaps not the right email, but here I am. Okay. Thank you. Can you guys see me, or I don't seem to have video capabilities either?
No, we can hear you loud and clear.
I
Okay.
can hear you. That's fine.
Okay, perfect. So is everybody all set?
We're all set.
Okay, thank you so much.
Ms. Vaughn, are you the only one that's going to testify on your behalf tonight?
My husband is doing bedtime for my young children, so
That's
I will
fine. I
likely,
just have to
Swear
swear
me
in
in.
who's ever
Perfect.
testifying. So if you could raise your right hand, please.
yes,
You swear or affirm the testimony you give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
I do.
Just state your name for the record, spelling your last name.
Kirsten Bone, B as in boy, O-H-N as in Nancy.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I was not mispronouncing it. I'm not getting yelled at. That's good. All right, why don't you, the application is pretty cut and dry. I don't know if you were on or you were able to hear anything at the work session.
Thank you, Chairman. I was, and you summarized everything with great clarity and great comprehensiveness. We are applying for a C1 hardship variance. My husband and I have lived at this property for approximately 4 years, and we began to make outdoor improvements on the house this past winter. We replaced the siding with hardy plank and redid our front steps, which are crumbling. And just very briefly, the reasons we would like to construct this portico, which essentially is the 2 columns and then a canopy. The roofing will obviously match, is really threefold. The first is simply aesthetic. I think it will look nicer. It will add some dimension to the front of our house, which is relatively flat, as you can see from the photos. The second and third really go hand in hand. It's practical and safety reasons. We have 2 small children, and whenever you're standing on the front porch, you're completely exposed to the elements. You walk in, right onto hardwood flooring, so you're just tracking water and ice and leaves and whatnot in the house with you. Same with packages. They just are unceremoniously dumped on our front step right now. And so we would like to provide a little shelter, almost keep them out of open view, if you will. So certainly we will be requiring a hardship variance. We can't satisfy these setback requirements for the front lot because, as you can see, our lot size is extremely small. It's only 110 feet in depth. So to really get that 40-foot setback, we would need to, rip down the existing house and build it in our neighbor's yard, which is obviously not a possibility. So I will speak, I suppose, briefly about the negative criteria, I suppose, if you will. I don't think I have the ability to share my screen, and I wanted to do that, but the purpose of zoning is, as you know, uniformity. And here it would really fit the character of our neighborhood to have the portico and not enforce against us. There are two properties within 200 yards of our house, 360 and 361 Auburn. They both, in, I would say, the last 5 years, constructed identical porticos and sought and received identical C1 hardship variances from this board. So in keeping with that, we're really promoting, I think, the purpose of zoning, and will be more in conformance with the character of our street and the neighborhood if we were granted the variance and permitted to construct this portico. And that's all I have. I'm happy to entertain any questions.
Board members, do you have any questions?
No, I think the architecturals look great, and I think it's a very necessary and nice addition to the house as well as to the neighborhood. So I have no questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So in the application, the section J, we have several nonconformities which are rather typical for the areas that have undersized lots. Again, this is a 6,600 square foot lot where 15,000 is required. So it looks to me like all of the boxes that are checked, so lot size, the depth, these are all items that are non-conforming. The front yard setback number 1, front yard number 2, and then the side yard. And then we have the rear yard for the accessory structure and the side yard for the accessory structure. Those are all pre-existing. It doesn't look like anything that they're doing right now is creating a new variance or a new nonconformity. What's happening is they're going from 22.1 feet down to 16.17 for front yard setback number 2, and adding this covered portico over the front step. It's really the front landing. Just for clarification, it looks like it's going to be 4 feet. The roof line will be 4 feet, and that will probably come right to the
edge of the landing.
front
Yeah,
edge of the top landing, correct?
exactly.
Okay, and then you'll have a couple of steps that are uncovered, which, as I mentioned in the work session, those are now included in the count only because the structure's covered. That's why you're going down to 16.17. So you're at 22.1 to 18.1 is really to the structure. So the only comments I really have, I just wanted to point out some of the nonconformities, and there are hardships. We have approved some other applications in that same area where they're looking to do the same thing, provide safety. And, you know, you bring up an interesting point with packages. Every day you see people just having issues with theft with packages. It's crazy. Not that we should start closing in our front porches and porticos and everything, but maybe having a little bit of protection is also something to consider. But certainly just preventing ice and snow and everything from building up on the steps for guests and the like. And like I said, I personally feel that it will fit into the neighborhood. There are others that are very similar to it that had, I'll call it sort of a flat face without any type of overhang over the front, and they've made a nice little addition to it. And I certainly, if you were coming out 6-8 feet and creating a big landing at 16.17, it's very uncharacteristic to have one that's that close. However, that's the importance of each application is unique, and you drive through the area, and it's important to look at the area and weigh the difference between the benefits versus the detriments. And I think this is probably something that's rather small. It makes sense, and it provides safety, and it will fit in with the neighborhood. Again, that's just my 2 cents. Okay, board members, any other questions for the applicant? Ms. Bone, do you have anything else that you would like to provide information-wise for the application before I open it up to the public?
Nothing further, Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. With that being said, I will open questions up to the public for the Bone application at 74 Yale Ave, block 469, lot 4. I guess since I'm seeing, I think you were the only one listed as an attendee before.
Right. The applicant is the only caller.
That's the only caller. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we opened it up to the public. We had no response, so we can close the public questions. Okay. All right, last shot. Again, this one's pretty cut and dry. We appreciate the simplicity of it. These are nice, and they kind of have a good feeling to it, because it makes sense. And if it's approved, it's definitely something that'll add a little value. You started out going down the wrong path though. With aesthetics. And I'm glad you circled back to the importance of safety and everything else, because we can't really consider aesthetics into a decision. No other comments, board? Okay. All right, then I will entertain a motion on the bone application 74 Yale Ave, block 469, lot 4.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Hubert. Second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rubenacker. Ms. Mitchell?
Mr. Tanis,
Yes.
Mr. Kalpagian,
Yes.
Mr. Hubert,
Yes.
Miss Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Christ,
Yes.
Ms. Riato,
Yes.
Mr. Rubenacker,
Yes.
Chairman Fry.
Yes. Okay, congratulations, Ms. Bone.
Thank
Good
you,
luck.
Chairman.
Good luck with the
Thank
rest
you
of your
all.
work.
Have a nice evening.
Stay healthy.
Thank you, you too. Take care.
Thank you. Okay. All right, next application is the Mitchell application, 71 Harding Road, block 263, lot 55. Looks like we have some participants. Good evening, how are you?
Very good. Good evening.
Doing fine, thank you. How are you, Chairman?
Great, thank you very much. Okay, we'll have just the two of you. Do you have any, Mr. LaCourte?
Yes.
Yes, he's our architect.
Architect, okay. Mr. Becker, if you would, do your swearing at.
He's on
All
mute.
of us?
Yeah.
You're muted.
Still on mute, Dave.
Yeah.
Much better,
All right.
much better.
And he's back.
I was swearing in myself here. I do apologize. Too many Zoom meetings today. Again, you swear or affirm that the testimony you give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. Starting with Mr. and Ms. Mitchell, and then I'll go to Mr. LaCourte. Can you state your name for the record, spelling your last name?
Michael Mitchell, Mitchell.
Lindsay Mitchell, Mitchell.
And Mr. LaCourte?
Okay, Patrick LaCourte. Last name is spelled L-A-C-O-R-T-E.
Mr. LaCourte, can you just provide your professional credentials and experience for the board, please?
I'm a registered architect in the state of New Jersey license number 10370 since 1988. And I've done many projects in the state, and I've been before boards like yours. I don't know if I've ever been before the Wyckoff board, but I've been before planning boards and boards of adjustments to testify as I am tonight.
And your license is current, I take it.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Chairman?
His credentials are acceptable.
Thank you. Mr. LaCourte, you've been accepted as an expert in architecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So,
Okay. Take it away.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm here on behalf of the Mitchells and on behalf of the project. I'd like to introduce the drawings, which you should have before you. There are two drawings. Drawing A1, which has, excuse me, okay. It has the site plan. It has the first floor plan and the second floor plan, the proposed second floor plan with the addition. Then A2 is the elevations, the front and rear elevations, and the left side elevation. Okay,
Just for the record, we will mark those and enter them into evidence as A1 and A2 as you described them, Mr. LaCourt. Thank you.
no problem. Okay, just a quick explanation of the project and, stop me if I am going too quickly, but I'm trying to keep it brief for everyone. The project is a shed dormer on the rear of the house, across the entire rear of the house, that would remove that section of the roof and put a dormer type addition, which means that the ridge line will not be raised. We'll use the existing ridge line and create the addition from that height to create the extra space. And it is the new second floor is in addition to create additional space, additional bedrooms for the Mitchells' growing family. The other parts of the work, or there are 2 doghouse dormers on the front, which are done to create just a little additional headroom at the new addition on the second floor, and also some additional natural light on that side of the house. We're also proposing a portico over the front entrance and a new platform, a larger platform. Right now, there really is not a true platform. It's a very small platform, and then you descend down the steps. And so a new platform, new stairs, and a roof over it to protect it from the elements. So we are requesting variances for both side yards and a front yard setback variance. The side yards are existing non-conforming, and the front is created by the addition of the platform and the stairs. Now, if you'd like, I can go through the dimensions from Section J. I could walk through those. Would that be appropriate?
So I think we went through them.
I know you did.
You identified the one. Really, the only change, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 non-conformities. 6 are existing already. You've created the one, as you mentioned, for the front yard setback due to the portico. So lot size is already pre-existing. Frontage is pre-existing. Side yard number 1 is pre-existing. Side yard number 2 pre-existing. And again, none of these have any further changes to them.
Correct.
The accessory structure rear yard is non-conforming, and the side yard is non-conforming. Again, neither of those have any changes proposed. The only change that's really coming into play so far of what I've mentioned is the front yard going from 40.34 to 35.75. And then just to touch base on it again. Oh, you know what? The building area square feet, gross building area is going to 2518. So we mentioned that you're below the 2,700. So no variance for that. And then we cleaned up some of the stats in the item number 5, lot coverage. Your principal existing is 12.9. It's proposed at 13.3. Total accessory structure existing is 4.4. That's unchanged, proposed 4.4. And then total between principal and accessory existing is 17.3. And that's going to 17.7.
Yes.
Yep, that's right. Okay.
Yes.
So those are the changes on the Schedule J.
Correct. And we do comply with building height and number of stories, and also with impervious coverage.
Right, and you mentioned the ridge is staying the same, so there's no increase in height, right?
Okay.
Okay. Can you just for clarification, can you provide some dimensions on the front steps and then the covered portion of the front steps? I don't know that that's captured anywhere.
The new depth of the front platform is 3 feet, as which would be a minimum for platform. And then each of the steps, there's 3 steps down, but 2 treads. So each of those are about a foot each, 12 inches each. So the projection will be 5 feet more out from the front face of the house. So that's pretty much the difference in what is a conforming setback to the non-conforming now, setback to the front step. So
So did you say the covered portion, I'm sorry to interrupt you, the covered portion is 3 feet?
the covered portion is 3 feet, correct? It's covering the platform, that's correct.
Okay, and then you have 2 additional feet for the steps.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. So, I mean, the only other thing I'd like to say is that the addition is a modest addition. As we've been saying, it's within the existing footprint. It's even within the existing height, so we're not increasing the height of the house. It does not extend any of the existing non-conforming side yard setbacks. And the front platform is done to provide, a larger platform, more of a safer platform, that's covered to protect it from the elements. And we did it, in proportion with the existing house, so it wouldn't look like something that was added on after the fact. And that's really it. I'd just like to ask if you have any questions, if there's anything that's not clear in the presentation. Just open up for questions for you.
Are you changing the electrical service? Because I see there's a pole on the corner of the property. If you are, I would strongly advise you to do an underground service to the house.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know at this time if the service needs to be upgraded.
Board, any questions for Mr. LaCourte, the architect?
For the dormer and the doghouse, what materials would be used for the siding?
Right, currently the house has vinyl siding,
Right, yep.
and we would be using, good quality vinyl siding.
So just to match what you have the existing then.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha, thank you.
Anything else? Any other questions? So really, what I see,
Or no questions.
okay, thank you, Mr. Rubenecker. The front portico, again, I have my own opinion about them. I think they do serve a purpose, and I think the benefit in most applications outweighs the detriment to it. It just makes sense, and it does provide protection. I've seen people wipe out because they've got ice accumulating. It does kind of make sense. And the fact that it's only 3 feet, thank you for clarifying that. It isn't a large structure. Again, when you start to get out of control and it's too big of a platform, then it might not make sense. But certainly at 3 feet, just to cover the top landing, to me, it isn't much of a struggle. So the bigger question mark is you're dormering off the back, and I can appreciate you're really not changing too much of this house. Where you're from the left-hand side, which is really probably the greatest exposure, because you're at closest 6.22 feet off that left side property line, which is extremely close. And then you will have addition there because the dormer goes all the way to the end of that house, right? So it's going to be flush. You're not stepping that dormer in at all. It'll be flush essentially with the left-hand side eaves as we see them now.
It actually cantilevers out the rear.
In the rear, right, but not on the left-hand side.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, that's right. No, it does not go out any further on the left-hand side. I'm sorry. I missed
Yeah,
that.
notice the rear, you're picking up a little space on the second floor by cantilevering
Yes.
a little bit. Right, so we try to look at, well, what are the neighbors going to look at? You're not changing the height of the structure, so really it's rather minimal what the effect will be. Of course, that's my opinion. I don't live there. We'll see if nobody from the public is called in. But that would really be the one area I see that's maybe something we can discuss a little bit. But I don't know how much moving that or changing that or trying to scale it back would really have any type of impact at all. This is really not a very big addition that you're looking to do.
No. Yeah, we did try to keep it, for budget reasons too, try to keep the addition as, no bigger than it had to be to fit the things that the owner needed.
Is there central air in the house now?
I believe there is, yes.
Yes, there is.
Are you going to be adding another condenser unit, or will you keep the existing?
Plan is to add.
Add?
Yes.
So I don't see, it's not, unless it's on the, hold on. Oh, it is on the site, it's on the site plan.
Yeah, I don't think it's on mine. Maybe it's on, if we submitted a survey.
It is.
It's
If you look at
it's on the survey.
Yeah,
It's on the
It's not on
survey.
the-
If you look at the GB engineering.
Right.
So the existing is there,
yes,
and you're going to be adding another condenser unit?
that's what Mr. Mitchell said, yes.
That's the plan.
So Mr. DeGenero, distance-wise, you're back on the beach? So if they add a second AC unit, keeping outside that setback, that's considered an accessory?
We're staying outside of it. We try to stay at 10 foot, right? So
Right,
going to be behind the house.
right. So if the AC, as noted on the engineering plan, is correct, then we would just specify if you're adding another unit, you could not go any closer to 10 feet to that left side property line. It looks like you have room to put it right next to the one that's there now.
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
like it's kind of,
But we'll just have a stipulation, you cannot go any closer than 10 feet and keep it in close proximity to the existing one that's there.
Got it.
Where do you see the engineering plan?
the survey,
The survey was,
Oh, the survey.
the survey, yeah.
It's in the final survey. The one that's attached to the site plan on PA1?
No, it's a standalone document.
Prepared by GB Engineering.
There it is. Oh, yeah, got it. So if the second one goes in next to it, as long as it's behind the back of the house, it's fine.
Right.
Doesn't have to be 10. It could be 6.22.
Just to clear the back.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I think they have room to keep it at least 10 feet as well.
Sure.
So they can put it adjacent to the other one, and we'll leave the stipulation 10 feet off that left side property line. That
Yep.
shouldn't be an issue. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the landscape plan. So there was a site plan that's included.
yeah, I'm gonna let the Mitchells prepared that plan, and I'm gonna let them explain it, or if you have any questions.
Okay, why don't you explain, I'm familiar with the area, it's right around the corner from me, actually. Just identify what it is you're looking to do. Did you put this together, or did you have someone put it
No,
together? for you?
we did this. So basically, we have a lot of landscaping in the front already. There is, like, anywhere where there seems to need a little bit more, we put some boxwoods in. There's a tree that's there right now that's going to have to come down. It's a small dogwood that's in front of the house, but it's just too close to like the roof line where we're doing the addition. It's in our garden. It's not like it's a big tree, but when that comes down, we'll replace it with some boxwoods.
Is that right in the center, right behind where the existing tree to remain in the front yard is?
Correct, yes.
So it's in that bed. So you're replacing what's coming out with the 4 or 5 proposed boxwoods?
Yes.
Okay, no other changes are going to be made? Are there any other trees proposed to come down?
No.
No, there's no other trees coming down. That garden has perennials in it. I put annuals in every year. It's pretty established.
Okay. And the giant arborvitae, those are all on your neighbor's property?
Those
Yeah,
are-
correct.
Okay.
Sorry.
You said that these-
Those are on their side.
they're there.
Okay, so maybe the one thing I would ask you to do, you're adding another AC unit back there. Just put some screening around the AC units.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we actually have screening over our, it's existing one, so that's the plan to do with the second one as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can see it on the picture too. It's a white fenced in.
Yeah.
oh yeah, okay. Is that what you're proposing to do? Just add another similar white fence?
Yep.
To match? Okay, that's fine too. So we'll just note, white fence to provide screening for the AC unit to match. Do you know if the electrical service is going to be upgraded?
No, we don't know for sure. We have to talk to a professional about that, but our guess is probably yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to put as a stipulation in, it looks to me like that pole is on your property. So you can have that discussion with the builder, but if you're upgrading the service and that pole is on your property, we want to see you put that underground. Okay?
Yes.
You know the area, we've had a lot of power outages, and the more we can get kind of undergrounds, because listen, the utility companies focus on getting the masses back, so they get the primaries out, but when trees come down across the overhead lines to your house, you're the last one to get turned back on.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. So it's to your advantage. There's a little cost to it, but it definitely
It'll be worth it. All right,
yeah,
absolutely.
it's definitely positive. Okay. Board, any questions or comments for the Mitchells?
I'm fine.
Just for the record, we'll mark the survey as A3, that's a chief survey, and the landscape plan is A4.
Yeah, I've, Mr. Chairman, this is Eric. I don't have any concerns on the left side with the dormer. I think the fact that they're maintaining the roof line and just dormering out the back is fantastic. I think, this fits in well with the neighborhood. Definitely fits in with a growing family. I think the landscaping is fine. And, I think the option to add the electrical would be a nice thing for safety, as well as to get the electrical underneath. But I don't know, I didn't see the driveway in particular. Could create an undue hardship if they have to rip up the whole driveway just to put the electrical underground. So I think we should leave that optional based on the discretion of the homeowner.
Yeah, so I totally agree. I'm trying not to add more cost to a costly venture to begin with. The what's identified as A3 does identify that pole. And I believe the driveway is identified accurately in it. So it looks like it'd be right alongside it. So it shouldn't be too much of a hardship for them to be able to do it.
All right, good.
I have one quick question for Mr. Laporte, quick, not to belabor it. In the left rear corner where it's 6.22 feet, with that cantilevered 1 foot extension, is that going to change that number, or is it a de minimis amount?
You know what, let me, just bear with me for 1 second because my background screens went out. Trying to use multiple screens here. Okay. So you're saying,
Yeah, just for housekeeping, the 6.22 feet on the left side of the house, all the way in the back corner, since that house isn't set straight, is that cantilever going to change that number, or is it very, very, very minimal?
it's very minimal. Technically speaking, it will, because the house, as you said, is angling towards the side yard. But it's only, at that point, we're only cantilevering a foot. And so it'll be very minimal.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I just didn't know if we had to change that for housekeeping or, for the resolution.
So if it's 0.2 feet, 0.2 feet over whatever the depth of the house is, 26.
Yeah.
So it's 0.2 over 26, and you're going 1 additional foot.
Right.
I guess it's the
Yeah, we're probably close enough with the 6.2 too. We're probably okay. But we get into the weeds with this, Mr. LaCourt. I don't know if you've ever been before us.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, we do.
It's true. What he's saying is accurate.
All right. Thank you.
Always is.
Sure.
Okay. I'll open up to the public. Anyone from the public care to speak on behalf of the Mitchell application, 71 Harding Road?
No takers.
No takers. Okay. Seeing none, we will close the public comment on the Mitchell application. All right, board, this one's again pretty cut and dry. 8:43. We're doing pretty well. I'll open up if anybody has any last questions for either the Mitchells or Mr. LaCourt. Please do so now. If not, I'll entertain a motion on the Mitchell application. Not everyone at once. I couldn't hear that.
I'll make the motion to approve the Mitchell application. 71 Harding Road, block 263, lot 55, as submitted.
All right, just with the 2 notes, white fence, 3 notes to surround the new AC units as screening. AC unit will be minimum 10 feet off the left side property line. And the utilities provided, everything matches, which it looks like it does. The electrical utilities, if there is going to be indeed an upgrade, will go underground.
I'll second with those amendments.
Motion by Mr. Tanis, second by Mr. Kalpagian. Ms. Mitchell?
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Christ?
Yes.
Mr. Tanis?
Yes.
Mr. Kalpagian?
Yes.
Mr. Hubert?
Yes.
Ms. Riotto?
Yes.
Mr. Rubenacker?
Yes.
Chairman Fry?
Yes. Okay. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Mitchell.
Good luck.
Mr. LaCourt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone so much.
Construction.
Okay.
Thank you everyone so much for your time. Appreciate
We
it.
appreciate
Oh,
it
you're
so
welcome.
much.
Yeah, good luck. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. So it's nice to see we had a whole string of applications that were looking to build, big additions, enhanced side yard setback, causing all sorts of issues. The last several have been rather nice, rather simple, purposeful. They have safety in mind. Nice to see. Makes our decisions much easier.
You just cursed us for November.
I know. Ms. Mitchell, how are we looking for November?
Not so bad right now. I believe two or three.
Okay.
2 or 3 so far.
Okay, great. All right.
Irene, do you need this paperwork back?
Can you just hang on to it? Let me get into the office tomorrow and make sure I have enough copies. I believe I do, but I will email everyone tomorrow and let you know if you can toss it.
Okay, thank you.
I'll write myself a note.
All right. Great. Yep, let us know. And I have all the copies to sign.
Yes.
I'll sign off. I don't know if I'll have a chance, if anything. If I don't, then maybe just to get him out of my house, I'll maybe have my wife swing by and drop him off. I'll reach out to you tomorrow to let you know.
That's fine.
All right. Okay, great. Board, anything else to discuss? Nice. 9. Perfect. All right. That being said, we can, I'll entertain a motion to close.
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Rioto. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. All right. Great job, everyone. Thanks for your time as usual. Good to see everyone.
Night, everybody.
Take care. Be